65% of men aged 18 to 23 say that no one really knows me well. It's wild. What can be done for these guys?
Stop looking at your screen. Think about how your entire life is all predicated on other people giving you information.
Right.
Even if you want to combat what they're saying, you're always parsing through what somebody you think has authority is saying, and you're trying to decide if it's true or not. All day long. Think about how many decisions you have to make every day.
Yeah.
Just from scrolling at every thumbnail you see. Am I going to watch that? No. No. Yes. You know, it's crazy. Today on the show, you already know this, but now we have the charts to prove it. Men are in trouble. We dissect the problem and try to find some solutions.
Have you noticed that a lot of the YouTube videos now are using AI art in the thumbnails? You can always tell, and I hate it with my whole heart.
And we have an It Gave Me Hope segment, so hopeful, it's guaranteed to make you cry.
All this and more on episode 41 of the Blimey Cow Podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Blimey Cow Podcast. Every Friday, we try to make the world a little less messy. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan. Comment below with your answer to this week's question. I'm looking for the 50-50 split, so please give it to me. Would you rather go without electricity or without food for one day?
If you want a free Blimey Cow t-shirt, then head over to supportblimeycow.com because we just switched away from Patreon. We've been on Patreon for 10 years, and now we are crowdfunding on our own site. But you know what? It's more than financial support for us. It's an online community for you. If you join today, you get a free Blimey Cow shirt as our way of saying thank you, and you also get an exclusive segment of the podcast just for our supporters. So head over to supportblimeycow.com today.
That's right, Josh. We have all of these shirts behind you watching this, behind the camera in boxes. They're waiting for you.
Yes, they're like, oh, please become a supporter. I'll be in the mail for you.
Don't forget to check out the Clips channel. Everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips.
Finally, check out our online homeschooling community, homeschoolwithus.com. For $3 a month, you too can homeschool with us. At Homeschool With Us, you'll find love and support and encouragement on the homeschooling journey. So head over to homeschoolwithus.com to join the best homeschooling community on the internet. Thanks to our friends at NordVPN for sponsoring this video. This is a company that we know and trust a lot. In fact, right before they got in touch to sponsor a video, Jordan had just paid for a year.
I've realized that they are the best on the market. And I was like, you know what? They have the best user face. They make it the simplest. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And then right after that, they're like, hey, we'll sponsor you.
Good news, Jordan. You were like, what? Come on. But then they did gift you a year.
They did. I gave it to Sarah. So now Sarah's got a year. So we're doing good.
NordVPN protects your anonymity online. You don't need websites, corporations, or governments tracking you. NordVPN's mission is to make the internet better than it is today. It should be free from online threats, censorship, and surveillance, and one account with them protects up to 6 of your devices, which I hope you don't have more than 6 devices that need
I only need one, Josh. Apple Vision Pro.
They have dedicated apps for all the major platforms, so whatever devices you have, you're covered with NordVPN.
Here's what you get when you sign up. Safety online with a single click, a built-in data breach scanner, a password manager, and they even have NordLocker, which is a cloud storage service to keep all of your files safe when you need them on the go. I actually need to take advantage of the password manager. I don't do that currently, but now that I am,
when you start using a password manager, it is a life-changing situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that now.
Plus, it's got all those VPN features you love the most, by which I mean, don't miss your favorite streaming content even when traveling, okay? It's the fastest VPN on the planet.
And it is very good for language learning, Josh. I use this all the time to learn French. I'm like going to VPN to Paris.
I'm in Paris. Oh, look, now everything's in French.
Yeah, and it's great. So anyways, go to nordvpn.com/cow to get a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months with a huge discount. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. That is nordvpn.com/cow. You will not regret it. Let's just
top stories.
Here we go. Top stories. Me and Sarah were walking around downtown.
Why?
Why? That's the question. Well, we were, just regardless, okay? And
It's okay if you don't want to talk about it.
it's fine. And so we're walking around downtown, and we passed the Apple store. There's a new Apple store in downtown
yes,
Nashville.
I've been
And Josh, did you know that that's actually in all of Nashville? That is the least, like the one with the least amount of customers that go in.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
They make the least amount of money, is
That
what
makes
I'm
sense.
trying to say.
That makes sense.
And mostly, I talked to other people one time. Mostly, it's just people who are drunk who broke their phones who
That's
walk
right.
in there and they're like, "Hey, I just broke my phone over at the bar," and they're like, "Okay, like
I
we
can't do anything."
Can't do anything." That's pretty much all it is there. So we're walking past it, and I'm like, "Oh, there's some Apple Vision Pros." They had a ton of them just sitting out. I could have walked in and put one on, and I thought to myself, I said, "Sarah, am I going to do this? Am I actually going to want?" That's what I was thinking to myself. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I refuse. I will not get the mark of the beast.
Do you think they actually let you try those things on? Do you think they
I saw some
sanitize them
people-
after each person? Really?
I saw some guys in there
All
and they
right.
were looking at buying one.
Look.
Just lie and say you're going to buy one and they'll let you try it on.
I'm probably going to do that.
Do it.
See,
and tell me what he looked like.
Here's
Satan.
Here's the difference between you and me. You have actually kind of reasoned in your head that there is a world in which you could entertain getting one because of the multiple monitors, or you don't have a TV at your house.
So I don't want to open it up. Once I
Right.
put it on, I don't want to open that
To
up.
me, I don't want one of these things. And even if I changed my mind and did want them, I would never spend the money on one. I
Okay.
would, and I know you wouldn't spend the money on one either, but I would never.
I would buy two, one for me, one for Sarah, so we could watch the movie together, Josh. Anyways,
Too bad you can't just share one. Like,
that is, just close your eyes.
it's like sharing a headphone.
So you would put it
I'll
on.
try it.
Well, just go
It's the
there.
same reason I would smoke. I'm like, I'm just kidding.
No, I know that's why.
Same
You
reason
know,
I would
just
try
try
hard drugs.
hard drugs.
Okay, I know I'm not going to get addicted. It has no power over me.
If you just when he walks you up to the guillotine,
Nobody knows
say
what that
no.
means.
Say I want out. You can't take it off at that point.
There's maybe one person watching this that understands.
Whatever.
That
They don't
reference.
need it. It doesn't matter.
All right, it's just for you and me. This is what I'll tell you. If I tried it on and even a sliver of me said, "Oh, I do want this,"
Take it off.
I'll let you know. I was like,
Okay.
"Ah, get away from me." And I will let you know. I'll say, "Jordan, do not ever touch it. Do not ever look at it."
Okay.
My top story is that as of this week, we have been in this house for 10 years. This studio space, 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, because we started shooting pretty much immediately here when
We
you
did.
when you got it
Before we had this house, we were still shooting videos at my parents' house,
in my bedroom.
in your bedroom where you were living at the time. Isn't that crazy how much has changed in 10 years?
You have like 6, 7 kids.
I have 6 or 7 kids.
It's
You've got
crazy.
like 700 chickens.
I need to
and you moved out.
downsize. I need to downsize.
The reason we bought this house was because of this little area right here.
Finished
This
basement.
Finished basement with a tucked in into the ground.
Can't hear
sort of
anything.
just can't hear anything. Just a little studio
The
section.
ground is over here, so the sound
The
is really
under
dead
earth.
end.
Yeah. I remember walking down here for the first time and just saying, that's where we're going to shoot Messy Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did for many, many years. And even just the other day, we shot some Messy Mondays.
Yeah, that's right.
So there you go. And now we're doing the podcast. It was odd taking all the black backdrop down and doing this podcast stuff. But now we've got a cool, like,
Pull-up
spring
thing,
up
yeah.
black backdrop that we pull up. And we've got the green screen that pulls down
Down.
from right there. We've got
For Christian Meme Review.
contraptions all over the place for all of our various shows, and we shoot Jordan's messages over there, or sometimes at Jordan's house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a good house, and I love it.
I'm gonna blow your
Still
mind.
love it.
I've had my house for 7 years.
What?
7 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, almost 7.5 years.
All right.
So that
Getting old now.
7.5 years.
Getting old now. Kelly just turned 35. I'll be 36 this year.
Right, you guys are the same age briefly.
For about 4 months.
It's just like me and Amy. Me and Amy
Yeah.
are a year off of each other.
yeah,
For like
for
a couple
a
months.
few
there.
months. Yeah, yeah. I'm about 8 months older than Kelly.
That's right.
So there you go.
What's next, Josh?
Well, Jordan, it's Christian Meme Review.
Hey! Tell us by what authority you do these things, Jesus.
First of all, I would like to make one thing quite clear.
Yes.
I never explain anything.
Josh, this is another classic movie that's just the hidden messaging in it is just horrible. We'll get into it later.
I mean, at the end of the day, you've got a movie that is about parents not taking care of their children.
That's the least of our concerns with this film. But you're right. Jews are just Christians who didn't buy the DLC. What is DLC, Josh?
Downloadable content. So it's like, because Jewish people adhere to the Old Testament, and Christians also bought the New Testament DLC.
I got you.
That just made me laugh.
That is funny, Josh.
All right, what have you got? What are you bringing to the table?
I don't remember. I thought these were funny though. Here we go. This isn't Christian music.
Mark? Yeah? Where are you? I'm here. What? I'm here. Where?
I'm to a moment in my life now where I relate more with the parents in this, because I think, if when my kids are grown, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do all my chores at 6 a.m. I'm gonna get them all done, because then I'm just gonna enjoy my day. Mm-hmm. And I control when those chores get done. It's up to me.
I agree with you, Josh. Whoever made this is definitely Gen Z and wakes up at 8 a.m. every day.
Still living at, this is you visiting home.
Yeah,
this
you
girl
visiting.
girl still lives at home. She's not visiting anything.
No. Now this one is hilarious. When you drop a cup at 3 a.m. That one really made me laugh yesterday when I found it.
That made my face hurt for
I
a minute.
know, me too.
All right. The message.
Hi, Josh and Jordan. I have a problem. My parents are divorced, and according to their divorce settlement or something, my dad is not allowed to drink while we are at his house. About a year ago, he admitted to me and my siblings that he was drinking again. Me and my 2 younger siblings kept this a secret from our mom for a year and a half because we were terrified that our dad would be taken away from us. We allowed him to keep drinking, which caused the situation to get worse, about 18 beers a day, much like Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I was cooking, cleaning, taking care of my siblings and dad, and sometimes driving because my dad was too drunk. I'm only 14. Josh, is this real? My mom eventually found out, and CPS was called. Child Protective Services.
Correct.
We didn't see him for over 6 months. It's been really great seeing him since then. He now has a new wife and baby. Okay, but about 2 months ago, I caught him drinking, and he doesn't know that I know. I don't know if I should tell my mom or keep it a secret. I really don't want my new baby sister to have to deal with what I did. I don't know the answer. Josh, I don't. I don't know the clear answer is to say just you have to tell. You have to tell me. That is the obvious clear answer.
Yeah.
But think of the repercussions here.
I know. It's like, yeah, obviously that's what she needs to do.
And just the repercussions are what they are.
I know.
Just life plays out.
It always comes back to this on the message. It's like it's sad when the kid has to be the adult. But with adults acting like children, what are the kids supposed to do? Yep. Somebody's got to be the adult here. So go tell your mom. Be an adult and go tell your mommy.
You have to. And then whatever happens, happens. So that's just the obvious answer.
Yeah.
We would be irresponsible to give any other answer.
No,
Like,
maybe just wait it out. Maybe he'll come to again. I mean, look, only alternative is that you go to dad and you say, Dad, I caught you drinking. I saw you doing it. What am I supposed to do? I have to go tell mom again.
yep, that's probably what you should do.
That's how you get yourself a new Nintendo Switch.
And then your dad gets taken away. Unfortunately, it is sad,
that is
Josh.
so true because he's gonna get taken away anyway. You might as well get something out of it. That's terrible.
Yeah, there's not much to do.
What are
you
you
just
gonna
have
do?
to do the right thing.
Look, when your dad is drinking, he's made his bed. Okay, and you know what? Honestly, now he's got a new wife and family. They're going to be the ones dealing with this next. So he's going to have to start paying the repercussions until he realizes he has a problem. These people that drink all the time, boy, do they justify it in their head. I've met people that do this, and they can gaslight you.
Yeah.
Too, into thinking, no, they're fine. They're not. They're not fine. They need help. Mm-hmm. If somebody is drinking so much that it's causing a problem, then it is a problem, and it needs to be dealt with. Especially if it's a parent with young kids. Come on. You can't do this stuff. Geez, you got one life to live. You only have one set of kids you get to raise, unless you get remarried and then get another set of kids to raise. But then, even then,
Yeah.
get it right.
Easy message to answer. Now, Josh, we've got some crazy clips.
How a monkey uses a bridge.
Monkey finds bridge. Monkey decides to cross the bridge with people on it. Monkey swings across the bridge. Does not
Duck
use
down.
its feet.
Wow, that was cool.
And there it goes. You got a long way to go. It's going to go the whole way.
Man.
Monkeys are amazing.
Monkeys are amazing creatures.
Terrifying
that was
things.
really cool.
This man has this apple is floating. Its air is blowing up on it.
Oh, it's just air. Okay.
And then he's blowing air to manipulate how fast it's spinning.
Whoa, look at that.
But he's going to explode the apple by spinning it, and the centrifugal force will rip it apart.
Is it still? Oh, I thought that it
No,
was.
it's spinning. He's
Holy cow.
ramping it up.
That thing is going to lose its...
Dude, it's really dangerous. He actually should be wearing a full face mask for this. But
Who knows
he's
which
not.
way that thing's going to explode when it goes.
He just turned up faster and faster, and every atom in this is wanting to rip apart.
Woo! Dude, I don't know what I was expecting.
Incredible. The
That
whole
was
thing.
that was going to happen quick, dude. But yeah, I didn't expect that either. Wow, what a cool video.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ones you've ever found. All right, here we go. Here's the last one.
Man cuts down tree. Nothing could have prepared me for this. You know, just a classic man cutting a tree down. It falls. But what happens? What happens next? What could it be? What could be the surprising thing that happens? Dog pops out of the tree.
Was there a hole? There must have been a hole in the tree.
Yeah, I think something happened where he was squirrel hunting, and somehow the dog got up the tree.
that's why
and fell
he
down.
cut it
So he had to cut
down.
But how does he know he's not cutting the dog? Because the dog would be at the bottom.
You got to take. You're taking the risk there.
I guess so. Anyways, that,
I mean, yeah. Well, why would you cut it that low? I guess so he could get.
he was probably cutting it hoping that there wasn't a hole there, so that he could cut it a little
Oh
further.
no! Well, if he is in a hole, he probably was stuck in the hole. Mm-hmm. Somehow, man, so he could have
knows?
gotten really hurt.
Who knows?
Wow. Okay.
Great.
Good job to the dog. Good job to the guy cutting the tree. Wow, those were indeed crazy clips.
Crazy.
Thank you for sharing those. Those are some of the best ones we've seen.
They were.
Wow.
Let's get to question of the week. I'm very curious what people's response was to this.
Yeah. Now, Jordan, I love bread. I
do.
really do, and I have a hard. It's such a good. I enjoy it as a carb. If I need a carb, it's easy to say I'm gonna have some bread.
Gonna have some bread.
But I know that at the end of the day, bread is not super great for you. That's why I'm grateful to Dad for making us that clean bread that he makes us. But even still, the question is, would you rather give up bread or water for the rest of your life? Now, clearly, I did not mean any sort of water product.
It's just water itself.
A glass of water.
So you made a poll?
I made a poll.
People would say give up water. I would say it's probably about 80% said give up water.
All right. I asked our supportblimeycow.com community. 92% would give up bread.
I misread our community.
7%.
Everybody is already has already given up bread because everybody is like intolerant.
Yeah,
of
that
bread.
could be. It could be.
So they're like, well, why not? I already have a sister who can't have bread, so I'll just go and not eat bread with her.
I was surprised. I thought this would be closer. A lot of people were like, how am I supposed to give up water? But I didn't think many people drank water.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, like,
people drink
whatever.
like soft drinks and stuff. Most
Yeah.
of the time.
I
Maybe
don't
not.
know. Maybe the thought of, wow, I don't want to give into this. I know I already don't drink a lot of water. I can't just say, no, I'm not going to have water.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I would certainly, obviously, give up bread.
Bread. Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
Bread.
Yeah. How often do you eat bread, Jordan?
I don't know. Like once every other day, I'll have a piece of toast.
That's what I thought you were going
Because
to
Dad
say.
gives us some.
Yeah. You guys go through those loaves a lot less quickly than we do.
We do. We do go through it pretty slowly.
Dad is really our bread dealer around here.
He is.
Man, we go through a loaf quick. These boys want their PB&J.
Dude, I was just telling Sarah, I honestly, I don't remember the last time that I had peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad per se,
Yeah.
but like
It's a
10
lot.
years?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
10 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
I've been having like a full sandwich in forever. I'll nibble off of the boys if they don't finish theirs, and it's always so good. It's always, especially on Dad's bread. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's our question this week?
Would you rather go without electricity or without food for one day? I have to think about my answer. I'm not quite sure. Depends on the day.
I think I know the answer to this one.
We'll make a poll and you guys tell us. Okay, let's get to our deep thoughts.
All right, here we go.
Men are in trouble. State of American Men, 2023.
I found this study. I haven't read the whole thing, but it was just confirmation of kind of what we already know. 40% of all men show depressive symptoms. 44% of all men have thoughts of self-deletion in the prior 2 weeks. Younger men show the highest levels of depressive symptoms.
In the prior to... Oh, like when they asked them this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The youngest men also report the lowest levels of optimism and social support at a statistically significant level. Now, you would think, I feel like when we were growing up, the younger people were the more optimistic ones, and the boomers were more pessimistic. But now it's like it's different than that now.
Yeah.
It's like now Gen Z is more pessimistic. 65% of men aged 18 to 23 say that no one really knows me well. Oh, check this out. Families, workplaces, schools, communities, relationships, and the internet were all impacted by COVID. Many men and women became increasingly isolated and spent more time online and streaming content. Loneliness seems to be increasing as well.
Yeah, imagine it's difficult because in my mind, well, everyone, there's for people that had nothing going for them.
Yeah.
They were kind of happy about lockdown.
Right.
It's like, wow, we get to watch Netflix and all this stuff as long. And they actually, honestly, they miss those days. They do.
Yeah.
At least the beginning stages of that.
These are the people that are still complaining about, they're making us come back into work now.
Yeah.
Instead of working remotely.
I wonder if all of that stuff would have ended a lot sooner if there were no screens, because people literally would have just been bored to death.
Well, that's true on two fronts. One, I don't think you would have been able to build up the level of hysteria that they did.
Yeah.
If everybody wasn't constantly staring at screens. Like if it was just on TV,
Yeah.
I don't think it would have worked. But two, that's exactly right, because people would not, like, what are they going to do? Go outside?
Yeah.
They would have had to change the rules and say, you can go to the park, you can go to the beach.
Yeah, it would have been different. It would have been, I don't know. So to me, it just feels like a plan. We wanted everybody to be isolated so we could make people more depressed and more controllable
Yeah.
in multiple ways, not just like, let's see if they'll listen to us if we shut the world down.
Right.
Let's see if they'll listen to us, and we can program them, make them more depressed, so they'll be more likely to listen to us later because they just have no will anymore.
Take the products that we are prescribing to them, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, just make them. It makes everybody more submissive when you're in this state because you're just looking for some kind of relief. Yeah, it is very frustrating because it, like, in the middle of all of that stuff happening, that's how it felt. It was like, this is not good. This is not good. We're doing. I know it feels like this is the right thing to do right now, but don't just think about today. Think about 5-10 years from now.
I remember I was talking to my nephew, and this is when I realized that kids his age, I think he's 10 now. So when all of COVID started, he's like 6.5,
Dude,
7.
that was my worst nightmare.
Well, this is what he just said this to me. He wasn't even saying anything was bad necessarily, but
Yeah.
it's interesting talking to little kids, like their perspective.
Yeah.
He was telling me about his friend that he had at church. He's a really good friend now, really good friends with him. But he said, he came up to me after, when church started back up again. He came back up to me and he was like, hey, and my nephew said he didn't know who it was, but they were like friends before, but he didn't remember him because so much time had passed, like 2 years had passed since, because I don't know, maybe that kid hadn't come to church for a while, longer than maybe it was open. I'm not sure, but for him and his age, a whole lifetime had passed where he couldn't even recognize a friend, and he had to be like, oh yeah, I do think I remember you, but they were like good friends before.
When you're that age, I think that like a month feels like a year, you know?
So I'm trying to imagine these kids, that went on for so long. Just the weirdness. It was like, what does 2 years feel like to them? Does that feel like it was a lifetime of life like that?
It was, we only had Isaac during the worst, like in 2020. And he was very young. He turned 1 in June of 2020.
So does he even remember any of this?
No, but we tried to make a conscious effort to make sure that he was never really in spaces where everybody was wearing masks all the time. Because just on some level, I just knew this is not healthy for kids. This is not healthy. And now you see these reports, articles, or studies, or whatever, coming out saying, kids aren't speaking as well now. Because
they couldn't read the mouths.
They could. Yeah, because and it's not even just that. It's going to be that kids don't have the emotional intelligence to be able to understand and read faces when people are like, oh, this person is upset or this person is angry. They're not going to be able to interpret these things because they never got to do it
when they were.
They might have only ever
kids.
seen their parents' faces.
Yeah. For years,
Yeah. I just remember there being 1 or 2 times we had to go to some kind of hospital or something. And it made me it was so frustrating to me. The whole situation was so frustrating. I just tried to get in and out as quick as I could. And it made me grateful that we were in a position where we didn't have to do that very often. But I felt so bad for all these other kids that were a little bit older who were suddenly being thrust into this position. This situation.
Because they still talk about it. They're like, back when everybody like wore masks and stuff. Like they talk about that as like a time period in their life. So it is very weird.
Oh,
very weird. But it is interesting now to see how they're kind of tying in how men are doing with that time period.
Well, this is just talking about Gen Z. This isn't talking about like younger kids. Who knows what it's going to be for them. I hope and pray things have gotten better for them by the time they get to this age.
This is talking about more about not just Gen Z. I mean, it's got Gen Zs, millennials.
Yeah, well, I think the idea is that Gen Z is the most distressed or has the most mental health issues of any of the different ages of men.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild. And so my age range is at 43% show emotional distress. And I mean, look, granted, in the middle of COVID, I if someone had surveyed me or a doctor had come in and like tested me or something, I'm sure I would have, and you too. Yeah, we would have. He's depressed. But it's just it's what can be done for these guys? What do you think can be done?
Stop looking at your screen.
Yeah.
Literally. I don't know. I mean,
That's
that
step
actually
one.
is such a huge step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, stop looking at it so much. That's what to do.
It's like that's not the silver bullet, but in a way it almost is. Because if you can stop looking at your screen, then it's not just about getting over the addiction of screens. It's about all of the messages.
Think about how your entire life is all predicated on other people giving you information.
Right.
And you and they have some kind of authority in your mind because they've made a YouTube video about it or they made a post about it. So clearly they know more or they blah blah blah. Like even if you want to combat what they're saying, you're always parsing through what somebody you think has authority is saying and you're trying to decide if it's true or not. All day long.
Yeah.
All day long. I mean, that's got to think about how many decisions you have to make every day.
Yeah.
Just from scrolling at every thumbnail you see. Am I going to watch that? No. No. Yes. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this is because people are struggling with overload of stimuli.
Yeah.
That everything starts to feel dead at some point because your brain is constantly flooded that it can't feel anything anymore. So it's too much stimuli and making too many decisions in a day because it just completely wipes you out.
Yeah.
That's why you feel tired after you come back from the grocery store.
Yeah.
You've looked at every item, even if it's Captain Crunch, you know you're not going to buy it. Oh, Captain Crunch, I have an opinion on that. Oh, that I'm not going to buy that.
Yeah.
Oh, that I'm not going to buy that. Every single thousands of items.
The grocery store is such a great example. I think you've given it on the show before.
And then to relax, you just sit on your phone and you just look at tweets like you're at the grocery store of social media. Again.
Something that would be stressful if it was the first time you were actually doing it, but now your brain is so conditioned.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know? Yeah. And, oh, man. And it's another point that you've brought up before is the idea that when you're on social media or you're just on the internet browsing things, it's always, you're a product. Things are being sold to you. You're the product being sold, like your data, being sold out to these different companies and stuff. So everywhere you're going, things are being sold to you constantly.
Yeah, so I think a lot of these problems would go away if you spent more of your time not being sold to. If you spent more of your time in your life not being sold to and creating something yourself, if you just change that ratio to where you're creating things or doing beneficial things that has nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
Or does have something to do with money, you're bettering yourself instead of being the commodity, then I think this number would go down. Everybody spent so much time being the commodity during COVID that I think it really ramped up. I mean, you just can't live like that. It's not human. Anyways.
If you have some sort of passion project that you're working on, it just gives you this sense of hope that I think lowers the percentages on this chart significantly.
Yeah.
Because once you have something you look forward to doing every day, you might still have problems, but you have something you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
If these guys feel like they don't really have any place in society and all they've kind of become is just like a mindless consuming scroller and it's not really even their fault, it's just that's what society
wired
is.
you.
They wired you and they, locked you down for a year and a half to where what else were you going to do? You weren't like in a mental position at that point to really think through what was happening and prepare your mind to be equipped to deal with that. I think that if they tried to do that again, I think people would be a little more mentally equipped. Some people would. You and I would. Like we'd be better equipped to deal with it because it's like, look, this isn't my first rodeo. But the first time that happened, it was like, what are we supposed to do? This has never happened before.
Yeah. There was you couldn't look back at history and really get a good screenshot of what happened. I mean, you technically could, but you couldn't in this modern day where there's so much surveillance on you and everything. It's different.
Yeah. I just hope
everybody does better.
Yeah.
Is doing better.
Yeah. Just get off the screens, find something you love to do and do it, and find an actual good community of people. Not, online communities are great. We obviously run a fantastic online community. But there is something to be said for just coming to BlimeyCon, like
Yeah, exactly.
getting to
It's
see
different.
people in real life too,
Yeah.
the friendships that are made. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I hope you guys are okay out there. We worry about you. I was worried about you all during COVID. I was worried about myself during COVID too.
Something Josh has been talking about repeatedly to me is AI thumbnails and art. And he says, Jordan, can you tell when AI, have you noticed more AI thumbnails and stuff like on YouTube? And I was like, yes, Josh, I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, but you can spot it from a mile away.
What is it? It's like the texture on the skin or something.
I don't know.
Like, are they all coming from one website or something?
Probably.
But I just went around and just grabbed a few that I saw, and there were like a bunch more. But look at this one of Trump.
But you can also tell when you click these videos, just out of curiosity, if you click them, a lot of them are clearly made from somebody who's just mass piling making videos. And it's read by a computer, but it's very convincing. But it's read by a computer, and it's very clear that the script was written by ChatGPT or something like that. And they're just pumping out these videos, and I'm like, man, is this going to be the death of art, social media? Because it's just going to be so much content.
You were talking the other day on the podcast a few weeks back about the idea that maybe there's some optimism here, because if AI sort of takes over like the creative, like the art space, then maybe you'd find more people in the trades. I would say this is an argument against that, because this just looks so lifeless and dead.
Yeah.
It looks like a dystopian, like a movie or something, where it's like all the soul has been taken out of the creative arts, and everybody is just sort of just like staring at a screen.
I know everything is created by AI to get their attention, and they can't look away. So it's just the people who have not put that on, who have made their own like Amish society that can combat that, because they refuse to put it on, because they know if they put it on, they'll get sucked into it too, because they're not strong enough to.
Yeah.
And then they just all start dropping one by one like flies.
Yeah.
And then they just the society is over and humanity is dead.
Are you opposed to AI in thumbnails? Just as an idea?
No, let knock themselves out. If they want to do this and ruin it, do it. Like, I won't click your video if I know that it's AI.
That's 100%. If I see a video with a AI thumbnail, I don't click on it.
No.
Even if it looks interesting.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I just don't like. It's
refuse.
like I just on principle. I don't. It's fine if people do it, I guess, but me personally, and on principle, no.
It is weird. It really does have a look.
Like,
it must be the
it?
same. Everyone must be using the same thing. I don't know.
Didn't it seem like it was just one day? Oh yeah, by the way, we have AI all over the place.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, applications that you've used, like audio blocks or anything. I think audio blocks, but every service that you would be subscribed to, then all overnight are like, now you can AI search on here.
Right.
It was like all at once.
And then Premiere Pro is like, and now you can, or Photoshop, now you can create images with AI.
Yeah.
And
It's
it was
like,
oh, and by the way, you
happen?
can go online and just type in, make a picture of Mickey Mouse.
And it pops up.
Mickey Mouse eating a squirrel. And it's just all this weird stuff. And it's like, I never understand. Like, I see all these images on the line. I'm like, what website are people going to make these ones that look so good? Because maybe they're like paid services.
Maybe.
The ones that I've looked at always look terrible. The only thing that was always interesting to me is the voice creator thing. The voice AI things where you can like make something sound like celebrities, like Trump or whatever. That's funny.
That's interesting to me.
But that's probably the most dangerous thing of all.
Yeah, that's the thing that really is scary. But even Sarah, when I talk to her, she's like, it's gotten to the point that I just don't trust anything that I see anymore. Like if I see it, I don't actually know if it's real when I'm just scrolling through.
That's exactly what Kelly said. The first time we talked about it, she was like, you're not going to be able to trust anything that you see anymore. And I was like, welcome to my world.
Right. So exactly. So it makes you want to use things less because it's less meaningful. Yeah. Well, it's one thing if I have to decide if I disagree with somebody or not online, but it's one thing if I have to decide is this even real so I can even have an opinion? Now the opinion on it is if the thing's even real or not, then I have to figure out if I agree with it or not. It's too much. So I think people are going to hopefully that's going to burn them out like crazy. If you don't even know what's real when you're looking at it, like an opinion, if you don't even know if an opinion is real or if you're arguing with a robot, it's like picking up the phone and it's like, boop, hello, and then they have like their way of like convincing you that they're real, and you're like, no, I'm literally talking to a computer.
Right. Did you hear that some group had like robocalls made that sounded like Biden, like giving them the wrong date to vote or something
I did hear
like
about
that?
Yeah.
It's very odd, very strange thing. It's strange world things happening in
I think all this is going to make it so that people use the internet less. It's going to be this weird thing where it's going to suck you in so much because it's going to get so good at like reading you, but then it's going to make you want to instinctually not use it because it's going to feel so fake and heartless.
I think these things have such a stranglehold now in the way that phones are just built to addict you. I think there's going to have to be some kind of crisis that forces people off of their phones before anything like that really seismically changes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if somebody like me still uses my phone as much as I do, and this is how I feel about it, then what hope do people that don't even like see the problem have?
There has to be enough people, and I think it doesn't have to be as many people to change to make there be a big change. That's always, everybody thinks that so many people have to change. So, well, we're so screwed because the whole world would have to change in order for everything to get better. And it's like, that's so hopeless. It's probably really only like a solid 50,000 people have to be like, no, we're not, I'm not doing this anymore, to make a movement that starts.
Okay, sure.
And I think it's less than 50,000. I think if there's just a small group of people that decide to make a change, it's like Pandora's box. I don't think it, because so many people, like I've heard people say this, each person has more of an impact on the world than they think because they know 10 people, those people know 10 people, and your idea can spread very quickly, even without the internet. This is just like prehistoric times. So with the internet, I don't know. I feel like things can change a lot faster. I don't think it's doomsday yet.
All right. I'll co-sign that. That gives me hope. And this gives me hope.
I could tell Josh was having a stressed out day the other day.
Yeah.
And so I found this image that I had just stockpiled for myself, Josh, to look at. I found it on Twitter.
Stockpiled it.
I found it on Twitter and I saved it as a bookmark. You can do that on X, Josh.
Yes, that's correct.
So I saved that, and Josh was having a bad day, and so he was overwhelmed. So I didn't know context. I just sent this to him, and it was this great picture of what we think it means to show up daily, giving 100% every single day. You're just knocking it out, crushing. But then what it actually means: a whole lot, a little, maybe a little bit more, less, very low, but you're all the way.
But you're there at least a little bit every day.
Every single day. I found this very true. Again, I always have to bring this back to French. I found this very true with my French.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't want to do anything, but I'm like, you know what? I'm at least going to go through one lesson of Duolingo, as much as that probably doesn't do a diddly squat. I'm at least going to get it in my brain today. Yeah. Next day, I'm like, wow, I feel motivated. I'm going to do a lot today.
Yeah. This applies to exercise. This applies to diet. This applies certainly to parenting. I mean that's kind of what overwhelms me is feeling like there's a lot of work to get done, and when you run your own business like we do, if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. But I was having a chat with a friend recently about this, and she was asking me like, what do you like? How do you that work life that work parenting balance? And I was like, my dad always said to me, raise your kids. You'll have time to make money when you're older. You only have your kids when they're young one time. And I thought that's so true. So that's what I try to like think about the long game of like, this right now feels like the end all, but it's just one more year of my life.
Exactly.
And I can,
good point.
I can do what I can each day. But it's okay if one day I just get a little bit done, and maybe I could have done more, or maybe a video didn't have the absolute perfect thumbnail. Because sorry, I won't abide by AI. I can't do that.
I can't do it.
Or a video didn't perform as well, or this went wrong or that went wrong, and I just want to go hang out with my kids because they're only going to be 4 and 2 and 6 months old one time. And that's right now. That's today,
Exactly.
And they're getting older every day.
Well, and then also the other image was of time.
Yeah, you sent me this one too.
Where, you do actions and then your actions get no results for so long. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean,
Then the results show at the end. So, you just have to keep going.
That's certainly health related.
That is.
Exercise.
That is.
That's what's so tough. That's why it's so tough to get in shape, because you don't see results until you really start to see results. And as soon as you see that you're making a difference in the way that your body looks and feels, that's like the ultimate motivation of all time. One of the best quotes, one of the first times I ever tried to trim down, one of the best quotes I ever heard was, "Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels."
Yeah, that's a good one.
I said, man, that's true. And they always say it takes, I think, what is it? It takes 4 weeks for you to tell a difference, 6 weeks for other people to tell a difference.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
When you're trying to get in shape or you're trying to lose weight or whatnot. So, yeah.
to get through that.
But it's it's a long time. And I think that's part of why it's a good thing. Like, it takes a while to have to see results. You have to build that principle in your head that I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep doing this regardless of if I'm seeing results or not, because I know it's the right thing to do. And then you finally get a reward. And once you get that reward, you already have the pre-built programming in your brain. So there you go.
Right, exactly. That was both of ours. It gives me hopes.
It gives me hope.
Because I gave you the image.
Thank you for giving me the image.
Because it gave me hope days ago.
I really appreciate you doing that. I texted Jordan right back in a surprisingly emotional text message. I don't normally send emotional text messages. I said, Jordan, I really needed that today. I really appreciate it.
Josh, here's
what is this?
I forgot this was my It Gave Me Hope. I completely forgot about this. This comes back to me every once in a while. It's like it's the greatest Alex Jones quote ever. This will hype you for life.
Okay.
They look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber.
That needs some patriotic. Do a cut of that has some patriotic music or something behind it.
I'll
Truly emotional.
We'll say that. I'll edit that. Sometimes I see stuff and I think, if I made a secret Twitter account, I swear I could blow this thing up. But I don't want to take the time. Like, other people are doing it. But I see stuff like this. I mean, that could have been so much better with an amazing. I'll do it. I'll do it for this though. Okay, that's fine.
That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer. Going into space.
All right. Thank you for sharing that with us.
All right, we recommend.
Jordan, I wrote Copenhagen. What do you think that is?
That is. You are supporting a nuclear war. You just said it all.
It's a food. No, it's not. It's a board
cheese.
game.
Oh, it's a board game. Okay.
Hey, Jordan, I want you to check out who designed this game.
Oh, is it our boy?
It's our boy.
It is Asger.
Isn't that
Love
great?
him.
This is another polyomino like Tetris game. Much simpler than the one I've recommended before, but Kelly and I played this one this week, and we really enjoyed it. It's got French translation in here too. But it's a lot like Ticket to Ride. You're collecting colored cards, and then you use those cards to buy pieces that you then put on your board. And you're trying to fill rows and columns and get points. It's a very simple
That's
game.
interesting.
It, reading the rules, we're like, all right, okay. And then in practice, we were like, this was a lot of fun. We played it a couple of times. So, yeah, I think that this one just went back into print. It's called Copenhagen. By the guy who created Flamme Rouge, which is our all-time favorite board game.
So did he design this game or built, like, did somebody
designed
just...
the game.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
My recommend is to get prepared for the apocalypse, Josh.
Sure.
I didn't realize this, but this is actually a thing that has been around for years. It is a mini Bible.
Miniature Bible collection. I've got a couple dozen Bibles on here from the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s.
What's the
Here it is
point?
down here on the bottom.
You can have a hidden Bible.
Oh, when they come for the
When they
Bibles?
come for you.
Okay.
It's from the 1600s.
Comes with a magnifying glass so you can read.
Okay. All right.
You can buy, we don't have to watch this whole thing, Josh, but you can buy one of these things. You can buy like 12 of these on Amazon for $7. Comes with magnifying
my
glass,
goodness.
full Bible, little tiny
Someone's
thing.
made a whole business out of preparing for the persecution.
I
here.
know. I was like, this is amazing. I recommend it. I haven't even purchased it, but I
Great idea.
recommend
What a
it.
great idea for a business.
Hide that thing anywhere. Who's going to find it?
Little pocket Bible.
Yeah, they couldn't find
Keep it and then keep your pocket Constitution in the other pocket.
Exactly.
When they come for
you
that
can,
too.
You can get as many one of those too, I'm sure. So that's my recommend. Just
good.
a quick recommend section
Good.
this week.
That's
But it's
good. Well, they were all good things, okay? Prepare for the apocalypse with a good board game and a mini Bible that you need a magnifying glass for. Hopefully you don't have a Twilight Zone situation where you drop the magnifying glass, suddenly you can't read the mini Bible.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's not fair.
Buy another magnifying.
You spend more on the magnifying glasses than you would on the mini Bible. Did we do it? Did we make another episode of the Blimey Cow podcast?
We did. Very exciting.
That was a good one.
That was good.
Thank you all for enjoying us, and we'll be back here next month.
Next month.
March already. What?
Crazy.
Oh, man. It's Amy's birthday month.
It is.
All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.